Hi, and welcome to AUIB. My name is Arnaldo. Today we have a special guest, the Dean of International Studies at AUIB, Dr. McGrath. Welcome.
Thank you, Arnaldo. It's great to be here.
So, Dr. McGrath, tell us a little bit about how you became involved in international studies.
Sure. Like many young people, I grew up reading books and watching films, and now everyone watches YouTube and things like that. And I just saw that there was this wider world, and I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was interesting, and I knew I wanted to somehow be part of it. I wanted to move from, my family that I love and that supported me on to like bigger and wider and better things. And my father wanted that for me, just like all the parents of our students here want a better future for them. And so that just took me all around the world. I've been in Africa, in Asia, in the Pacific Islands, all over Europe. And now I'm here, right? And so it's just a fantastic journey, and it's one that's not finished, and it's one that I look forward to continuing here.
We're happy to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about what's the heart or the vision of the school?
Sure. The vision of the College of International Studies is really the vision of the founders of the university, and that's to bring the world to Iraq and bring Iraq to the world. And this is very important to us because it's the American University of Iraq, and it needs to be American and it needs to be Iraq. It can't be just one thing or the other. And these are two amazing, powerful cultures. One, the traditional seat of civilization in the world, and another one that's kind of the modern version, a different power. And this is what this great synergy, the great relationship here. The founders were very clever in putting those two things together and making this happen. And so, what our role in this is, and straight across the board, you have pharmacy and healthcare technology and business and arts and sciences, many great colleges. But we're the International Studies College, and we're kind of at the center of the international aspects of this. And so for us, it's to bring the international parts of the culture into the curriculum, into the student body, into the learning community.
Beautiful. So can you tell us a bit about how does the School of International Studies prepare students after they've graduated?
Right. Yeah. First of all, it's a broad-based curriculum, and it's a broad-based education. We're really here about teaching people to think different ways, to look at things in a new way, to break outside of their comfort zone, of their identity, of their culture, and just see how the rest of the world works. And that doesn't mean the rest of the world is better in any way, shape, or form. It means it's different, and it means it's interesting to see. And we want Iraqis to engage with the rest of the world in ways that they can show how awesome their culture is, how their background is, their traditions, and bring it to the rest of the world, which maybe doesn't understand it well and should understand it better. So for us, that's really, really important. And this is kind of the heart of what we're doing.
Now, Dr. McGrath, you're not only serving students who are majors of international studies, but other students who may be in other fields. Can you tell us a bit about the benefit to those other students who possibly might be taking a class?
Sure, great question. So students across the entire university can take our courses. Now, our students over the course of 4 years will specialize in kind of specific areas, and when they get to the third or fourth year, they'll mostly be taking those courses. But before then, kind of general courses on international politics, on political economy, on different areas of the world, right? On how the UN works or how the Arab League works and things like that. So this is open to all students. And the point is that, we want people, regardless if they're dentistry students or pharmacy students or business students, to get a picture of the rest of the world. Because even if you're in business, you're going to do international business. If you're in pharmacy, there's international pharmaceutical companies and other things. And so what we're trying to do is help people in those different colleges kind of broaden themselves out. And that's kind of our role in that. We also like the fact that our students, even though they specialize in international studies or security studies, we want them to share the classroom with the students in the other colleges because we think this is very important. To make connections, to make friends, to share ideas, because I guarantee you that there are students out there in arts and sciences or business that have great ideas about international issues that our students might not come up with. And so we don't want to miss out on that. This student body is incredible across the board, and we want students to learn from each other.
Can you also elaborate on the career path of students graduating from the International Studies program?
Sure, yeah, this is something that parents always, I've talked to a number of parents, and it's one of the first questions they ask. And as a parent myself, it's the first question that I would ask, right? And so this sounds very nice, but what's going to happen with that? Because, the world is not such that you can't think about earning a living and things like that. And so that's very important to us. It's very important that all of our students are successful in the classroom and beyond the classroom. And that's the mark of a good university, that its graduates go on to do either graduate study or work. So what will our students be doing? Well, some will work in the ministries, not just the foreign ministry, but the planning ministry, the agriculture, all the different ministries, because they all have international dimensions. And they need people who understand the rest of the world, who can work in the languages and the cultures and things like that, because there's probably no ministry here that does not deal with other countries and other cultures. So there's a whole government track of different things within the government that our students are perfect for. Beyond that, there are NGOs, whether regional, Iraqi, or international, that again develop according to certain international rules and norms and skill sets that we provide for our students. So there's a lot of opportunity there. There's, of course, studying and working abroad. Now, we're not here to steal Iraqis, to bring them abroad and not to bring them back. I understand people worry about that, and they shouldn't. The best outcome for me is our students learn what they need to learn, go have some experience abroad, and bring that back and make Iraq just a better, stronger place. So these are kind of some of the main things. Now, in pursuit of that, in the fourth year, in the last year, we have one whole course called Professional Development that's devoted just to preparing students for interviews, preparing them how their CVs should look, how they interact, how they search for jobs, how they talk to companies, what companies to look for. And that's an entire course on that in their last year, which makes sense. So now that they have a sense of kind of what they're interested in, where they'd like to go, we really want to be able to help them get there. Now, we have internships. I've just talked to the Energy Institute, and they've already agreed to internships. We had a meeting today with the EU ambassador here, and we're starting to discuss this kind of internships with them. So by next year, or even by later this year, we'll have a number of internships in place. And internships, unfortunately, usually free labor, but this is a way, you probably serve some of them yourself, right? This is the way to get into the market. You want to be competitive, you want to show up with skill sets and experience before the other ones who just graduate. You've done the internships, you know how it works, you know what you like, you know what you don't like, and you're very competitive. And so making students professional, aware, and competitive, this is one of the main things that we need to do, and we make sure in the fourth year that gets done.
Dr. McGrath, thank you so much for your time today.
Well, thank you, Arnold, and thank you for producing. A number of my students came from your classroom and from the classrooms of the other instructors here. And so we're very grateful for not only this opportunity to show ourselves, but an opportunity to work with you and all the other great people here at AUIB. And so I just hope people understand, it's not just me, it's not just you. We have dozens and dozens, and we're recruiting more every day, of international people who are the highest caliber and who are here to serve the students.
Thank you so much for your time today, Dr. McGrath.
Thank you, Arnold. It's great to be here.
We have another special guest, the Associate Dean at the College of International Studies, Dr. Swart.
Hi, Arnold. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about the curriculum at the College of International Studies?
Of course. Our curriculum focuses on international studies and security studies as well. Most important difference from our college from other colleges is that our curriculum is far more changing and adaptive. So for example, in 2019, the United States became a net exporter of energy for the first time since 1952, an event that would change the landscape of their foreign policy. Earlier this year, we all watched on our television sets as Russian tanks rolled into Ukraine, disrupting not only energy, but also food supplies around the world. So our curriculum focuses on what's going on in the world, but also has a very strong basis in the fundamentals of our field, which is political science, international relations, and sociology. We try to train our students to understand the basics of their field, but also to adapt and apply what they've learned to contemporary examples.
So let's talk a little bit about those students. Who is the ideal student for the program?
Well, anyone that is curious about the world around them and wants to know more. Our current sort of intake of students is a very wide variety and diversity. We have young working individuals, people that work in different sectors in Iraq, from government to public entities. We have students that spend some time overseas and have returned to Baghdad. And we have local Iraqi Baghdadis, young people, wanting to learn more about the international sphere, wanting to add to their sort of nation's greatness, I believe, many of whom have interests in climate change, security, energy security, food security, issues of migration. These are all issues that deeply and fundamentally connect with our college.
Can you give us a bit of an idea of the courses that you're teaching at the college?
Of course. So I've been here since early 2021, so I've taught a number of courses at AUAB. One of the courses I've given was Globalization and World Politics, which is an introduction to how the contemporary globalized world works, and also looks back at where we came from and how we got to be here. It's very important for me to be part of the foundational courses that we deliver to our students. It shows to them that we are serious about what they do and that we care about what they do. The other course that I've delivered in my college is Introduction to Political Science, sort of giving them the basic building blocks of the concepts that they need to master in order to make sense of the globalized world and to interconnected issues that it's facing.
Dr. Swart, can you elaborate on the caliber of the current students that we have here?
So far, we have been very fortunate at the college to have excellent students in our first and second intakes. And they are a diverse bunch of young people who would like to work in different sectors. Some of them are interested in non-governmental work, some of them are interested in humanitarian endeavors, whilst others are more interested in bureaucratic endeavors and also more leadership-orientated roles. Hopefully to take up leadership positions in high positions in government in Iraq, but also in the private sector for companies and businesses looking to rebuild a better future for Iraq.
Thank you, Dr. Swart, for your time today.
Thank you, Arnaldo, for having me. It's been a real pleasure talking to you.